Hello students of class 6th, welcome to geography class. I hope all of you are doing well. Students, in this video, I shall start with a new topic of geography. That is chapter number 3, Motions of the Earth. So this is the chapter that I am going to start today. Motions of the Earth. What is the meaning of motions? Motions means movements of the earth. So in this chapter I am going to explain you about the movements of the earth. See, in the last chapter I explained you about the globe. I told you that globe is a replica of earth. It gives us a true picture of earth, or it is a model of earth. Then I explained you about latitudes, about longitudes, about the heat zones, then about time, about standard time, about standard meridian. And in this chapter we are going to explore more about the earth. So in this chapter I am going to explain you about the motions of the earth, about the movements of the earth. See, there are two movements. First is called rotation and the second is called revolution. So I am going to explain you about rotation and revolution. Then after that I am going to explain you about the effects of rotation and revolution, that what are the effects of rotation and what are the effects or impacts of revolution. Then about seasons. Students, we come across mainly 4 seasons: summer, winter, autumn, spring. Then why do we come across these seasons and how do we come across these seasons? Why we experience summer season, why do we experience winter season, and regarding all the seasons. So I am going to explain you all about our earth, about the seasons, about the movements, about day and night, that what causes day, what causes night. So this is going to be a very interesting chapter. So even I am very excited, and I hope that you people are also very excited to learn this chapter. So let's start with the first topic, that is rotation. So let's start with rotation. Students, the earth performs 2 types of motion, or the earth performs 2 types of movements. First is rotation and the second is revolution. So first I am going to explain you about rotation, that what is rotation. Rotation means the movement of the earth on its axis. So the movement of the earth on its axis is called as rotation, or the circular movement of the earth along its axis is called rotation. The earth rotates. Now what is this axis? I have already explained you in the last chapter about axis. Axis is an imaginary line. What is axis? Axis is an imaginary line passing through the center of the earth around which the earth rotates. As you can see here, this is the axis. It is basically an imaginary line that passes through the center of the earth around which the earth rotates. And students, this axis is tilted in a fixed direction. Means earth is not straight, it is tilted. This axis, this imaginary line, it is not straight, it is tilted. It is tilted in a fixed direction, making an angle of 66.5 degree to its orbital plane and 23.5 degree to its vertical. As you can see on the screen, it is making an angle of 66.5 degree to its orbital plane and 23.5 degree to its vertical. Now students, this tiltation is called the inclination of Earth's axis. Please remember that this tilt or this tiltation is called the inclination of the earth's axis. The earth is slightly inclined towards its axis, right? Now students, as I am telling you about rotation, so I explained you that what is the meaning of rotation. Now let me tell you about the effects of rotation. We experience day and we experience night. So rotation causes day and night. Because of rotation, we are able to get day as well as night. Now you must be thinking that how this is done. How because of rotation we experience day and night. See, as the earth rotates from west to east. Please remember that the earth rotates from west to east. Then when the earth is rotating from west to east, the half of the earth's surface facing the sun gets light and the other half remains in darkness. As you can see, this is the sun which is at a constant place, and here we have our earth. So the earth is rotating from west to east. So the portion of the earth that is in front of the sun, okay, the portion of the earth or the part of the earth that faces the sun, the sun rays directly, the sun rays are falling on that portion, and as a result of which that portion is called day, or that time we experience day. And the opposite part or the other part which is not facing the sun, where the sun rays are not falling, that portion is called night, or you can say in that portion we experience night. Please remember that the portion that is facing the sun, the portion that is receiving the sunlight, their day is there, and the other portion, the opposite portion that is not facing the sun, where sun rays are not falling, that portion is called night, or that in that portion or in those areas night is there. So I hope that why we have day and why we have night is clear to everybody. So once again let me say that the portion getting light is said to be experiencing day, while the other half experiences night or darkness. So I hope that this concept is clear to everybody regarding day and night, that why do we experience day and why do we experience night. Now let me explain you one term, that is circle of illumination. Now what is this circle of illumination? Circle of illumination is the circle, or it is that line that separates or that divides day from night. In one part day is there and in the other part night is there. So the circle that is dividing day from night, or the circle that is separating day from night, is referred to as the circle of illumination. I hope that this term is clear to everybody. This is a very important term and you need to understand it. Okay, and please remember that the circle of illumination, it does not coincide with the axis. We have the axis, this is the axis of the sun, and the circle of illumination, it never coincides with the axis. Please remember this point. Okay, and students, this circle of illumination, I have explained you about circle illumination, that means the circle that divides day from night. So the circle of illumination indicates the portion experiencing light and darkness, that is from dawn, then morning, that is then after morning noon, afternoon comes afternoon, after afternoon comes dusk, and then leading to night. So this process continues. So these are the various conditions that we face through an earth day. Now what is earth day? See students, the earth takes about 24 hours to complete one rotation around its axis, which is called as earth day. So and these terms that I told you, that dawn, morning, noon, afternoon, dusk, and then finally leading to night, these are the various conditions that we face throughout an earth day. That means when the earth revolves, or when the earth not revolves, please cut that line, that means when the earth completes one rotation around its axis, which is called as the earth day. Now I'll explain you these concepts, these terms, that means what is dawn, what is dusk, what is morning, what is evening, what is afternoon. Definitely you must be knowing most of the terms, but still I will explain you these terms. So students, let's come to the first term, that is dawn. What is the meaning of dawn? D-A-W-N, not D-O-N, it's D-A-W-N. So dawn refers to the period before sunrise. The period before sunrise is called as dawn, or you can say the period of diffused light when the sun is not visible before the sunlight, before the sunrise. See, before the sunrise, what happens? The sky is neither very bright nor very dark. So that time, that period when the sky is neither very bright nor very dark before the sunrise, so that period is called as dawn. So I hope the first concept, that is dawn, is clear to everybody. After dawn, what comes? Morning. Means the time when the sun rays are slanting, that is called morning. When the time when the sun rays are slanting. After morning, what comes? Noon. Now, noon means when the sun is directly overhead, that means 12 o'clock, that is called noon. Afternoon, what happens? Afternoon comes, that means the time after noon where the rays are vertically overhead, they are not directly overhead, they are vertically overhead, that refers to afternoon. That means the time after noon is called afternoon. After afternoon, what comes? Evening. That means the sun rays are slanting, they are not overhead, they are slanting. After evening, what comes? Dusk. After evening comes dusk, means the period of diffused light before it gets dark, means before it gets completely black or dark. The period before, the period after sunset and before dark is called dusk. Okay, that time the sun sets and the sky is not completely black. So that period or that time, the period of diffused light before it gets dark is called as dusk. And then comes night, where everything is dark, darkness is there, when the sun completely sets and there is and the sky is dark, the sky looks dark. So I hope that these concepts, these terms are clear to everybody. And among these concepts, dawn and dusk, please remember students, they are very important. Dawn means the period before the sun rays, when the sun is not visible, and dusk means the period after the sunset, when night has not completely approached. So I hope that these terms are clear to everybody. Now students, let me tell you about some facts. Students, the places near the equator, they have almost equal days and equal nights throughout the year. Yes, they experience longer periods of dawn and dusk. Why they have almost equal days and equal nights throughout the year? Because the sun rays directly falls on the equator. Okay, the sun rays directly falls on the equator, as a result of which the places near the equator or the places on the equator experiences equal days and equal nights. Now let me come to the poles. Let me tell you about the poles. See, at the poles, that means there are two poles, North Pole and South Pole. So at the poles, we experience 6 months of daylight and 6 months of darkness. Now what is the reason? Why do we experience 6 months of daylight and 6 months of darkness? See, our earth is tilted towards the poles, right? Because of the tilt, each pole is, because of that tiltation, each pole is tilted towards and away from the sun for about 6 months each. And when if I talk about the northern pole, if I talk about the North Pole, when the North Pole is tilted towards the sun, it experiences continuous daylight for 6 months, and when the South Pole is tilted towards the sun, it experiences continuous daylight for 6 months, and then the North Pole experiences continuous darkness for 6 months. If North Pole is experiencing daylight, then South Pole will experience darkness. If South Pole is experiencing daylight, then North Pole will experience darkness. So please remember this. Okay, if there is day in the equator near the regions or places of, please cut this line. If there is if there is daylight near the North Pole, then there will be darkness in the South Pole and vice versa. So please remember this. Now students, which place is called as the land of rising sun? You must have studied in GK also. So Japan is called as the land of rising sun. Now why it is so? Why Japan is called as the land of rising sun? Because sun rises first in Japan and then in the other parts of the world. That is why Japan is called as the land of rising sun. Now students, there is a place which is called as the land of midnight sun. Which place is called as the land of midnight sun? Norway. Norway is called as the land of midnight sun. Why Norway is called as the land of midnight sun? Now students, Norway is called as the land of midnight sun because it experiences sunshine throughout the day. You know, they have sun shining at midnight. Yes, in the midnight, at midnight also sun is there, and that is for about 60 days, not for the complete year, but for about 60 days, that is from mid-May to mid-July. So Norway enjoys sun for almost 20 hours a day. So that is why it is called as the land of midnight sun, because at night also sun is there. Okay. Now students, let me come to India, our own India. So which state in India receives the early rays of the sun and why? I hope you know this. Arunachal Pradesh. As you can see on the map, Arunachal Pradesh is there, northeastern state, the most northeastern state. So Arunachal Pradesh receives the early rays of the sun. Now why Arunachal Pradesh receives the early rays of the sun? Because it is the most northeastern state of the country of India. It is the most northeastern state, hence it receives the first rays of the sun. The sun rises in the east, so it is the most northeastern state. That is why Arunachal Pradesh receives the early rays of the sun. Okay, so I hope that till here all the points are clear to everybody. Now students, one more important thing. What would happen if the earth did not rotate? What will be the impact of it? See, if the earth will not rotate, or if the earth would not rotate, then it would lead to extreme condition. That means the portion that are receiving the sun rays, in that portions, the climate will be extremely warm or hot. Summer will be there, the portions that are receiving sun rays, and the other places there will be darkness, and the other places will experience darkness, complete darkness, or extreme winters they will experience. The temperature in the other part, the portion that are not receiving the sun rays, the temperature will go down. As a result, winter will be there. So disbalance will be there. At some places the temperature will be extremely very hot, and in some places the temperatures will be very low. So in some parts or some portions will experience summer, and some portions will experience extreme winter. So in both the cases life would not be possible. It will not be possible to sustain life, because plants, the portion that are the areas that are not experiencing sun rays, how will the plants grow? Photosynthesis will not be there. If plants will not be there, then how we will breathe? Oxygen will not be there. So in both the cases it is not possible to have life. So that is why it is very important for the earth to rotate. If it will not rotate, then life will not sustain. In extreme winters also we cannot survive, and extreme summer also we cannot survive. So it is very important for the earth to rotate on its axis. So I hope that the first topic, that is rotation, is clear to everybody. Now students, in the next video I will be explaining about revolution. Till then, stay safe and thank you so much.